Hey, all you basketball players out there, do you sometimes find yourself fouling too much? Is foul trouble cutting into your playing time? Well, today I'm going to share one thing that you should stop doing that will help you cut down on your fouls and keep you in the game. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Heart Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help basketball players become the smart, confident players that coaches love. So today I'm going to start with a rather embarrassing story from my playing career. It took place all the way back at my first organized basketball game. And I didn't start basketball, if you know kind of my playing story and my coaching story, I didn't start playing basketball until high school. So it was kind of late to be having this embarrassing story. It didn't happen in like a youth league or a CYO league or something like that. It happened in a high school game, and so it was really embarrassing. And it is relevant for today's topic of limiting fouls. So it's my first game that I get an opportunity to play. Coach looks down the bench and says, "Dave, you're in the game." Now, there was a lot of embarrassing moments during this game, but this was the worst. So he puts me in the game, and within maybe a minute and a half of being in the game, I had fouled out. Completely fouled out. It was so bad, the coach, as the fouls mounted, one after another, it was like 2 defensive possessions. I was out of the game. And the coach is trying to coach for tell me to stop fouling from the sideline. I've got my teammates that are trying to coach me up from the sideline, and even the referee is trying to coach me up on the court and stop me from fouling. But as I've told you in the past, throughout my basketball career, I did not have a huge basketball IQ, but this was like the bottom of my basketball IQ. I didn't know much about the game. I just knew I was pretty athletic. That ball was there. I was trying to guard this player, and I was really, let's just say, overly aggressive. So the tip I've got today is something that you need to stop doing in order to limit your fouls. Now, I hope you never have to go through such an embarrassing moment as me, whether it's the beginning of your career, you're in a youth league, or whether it is longer in your career. Hopefully, you're never going to foul out in under 2 minutes. But that is something that I did that I think illustrates, how bad it can get with fouls. Now, I mentioned that my basketball IQ wasn't that high. If you are a player that is really looking to, be one of those smart, confident players that coaches love, be sure to download my 8 intangible skills that coaches love to see in players. These are skills that you can work on both on and off the court, and I put it in a checklist form. I'll put a link below, but be sure to download that. And then you'll also get notified whenever I put out a new video and such. So be sure to download that. Now, what are 3 reasons that we should all be interested in cutting down on our fouls? Okay. Number 1, coaches hate fouls. They want players that can play defense without fouling. And so we've talked about throughout these tips that I give, we've talked about a lot of your playing time comes from the trust that you have in your coach, with your coach. And coaches don't trust players that can't play defense without fouling. And that affects your playing time, right? So that's one reason. The second reason is, your playing time can be affected just being in foul trouble. Your coach can have all the trust in the world in your ability to play. But if you foul too much, whether it's in a quarter, a half, or a game, you might find yourself on the bench because the coach is trying to conserve you maybe for a different part of the game. And again, it limits your playing time. And then probably the most important reason that you need to limit your fouls is that it really hurts your ability, your team's ability to win the game, okay? It gives your opponent free points. It doesn't matter if you're fouling on shots and they go to the free throw line, or if you're fouling, not on shots and it's building up fouls to get them closer to the bonus. Each foul is basically giving the other team free points. And so you want to give your team the best chance to win, and you can help that by limiting your fouls. So what is the one thing that you should stop doing in order to limit your fouls? Stop reaching, okay? And whenever you reach at the ball, you should assume it's a foul. And why is it a foul? You say, well, a lot of time I get the ball clean. Well, guess what? Reaches look like fouls to referees, and so therefore they blow their whistle and they award a foul, okay? It does not matter if you can get the ball clean or not. Don't reach, because reaches look like fouls and referees call reaches, okay? If you're reaching down at the ball, if you're swiping at the ball, any of those look like fouls, and they'll call. You might notice when those calls come about, your coach might get upset at a lot of foul calls. They might get upset at referees, but on a reach, either your coach doesn't get as upset at the referee, or if they do, the referee might just walk by and say, "Coach, they reached." That's all they need to say to calm your coach down, because your coach does not want you reaching, because reaches are fouls. You should just assume a reach is a foul. If you have to go for a steal, dig up at the ball. Dig up, never swipe down, never swipe from the side. Don't reach, dig up at the ball. Why? Because that looks less like a foul to a referee, and they are less likely to call a dig up at the ball than they are a swipe down or a reach out, okay? So, stop reaching. I just wish some coach had have taken me aside and given me this knowledge early in my career, because it would have saved a lot of fouls for me. I was this athletic player that thought I could get any steal at any time. Oh, that ball handler can't, handle the ball. I'm going to go for a steal. I'm going to reach. And that would have helped me stay in the game throughout my high school career, throughout my college career. Now, nothing was bad as that first game, but still, I could have limited so many fouls. I could have stayed in the game. I could have played great defense. I was athletic enough to play great defense. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to break the bad habit of reaching and instead focus on the good defensive habits that we talk about a lot on this channel, and you can go back and look at different defensive videos we've done. But focus on great defensive habits that coaches will love to have you in the game with those habits, and stop reaching, keep yourself in the game. So that's today's tip. I hope it was helpful. Always like the likes, the comments below, and until next week, remember to play hard, play smart, and play together. See you next week.